Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new dose of Big Brother 22 All-Stars live feed spoilers. And, here's the funny thing. Things have moved at such a glacial pace this week with there only being 4 people in.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried we were going to come on and be like, okay, well, there's not that much going on. But the past 10 minutes have actually been rather informative, or at least the 10 minutes before we started recording this.
Yeah, and even the episode last night had a bit of information in it that, not everyone knew.
The big fundamental question that I think we want to go over and theorize here more than any other is, would Enzo cut Cody if he wins the final 3 HOH? Could it happen? Will it happen? Is it cut and dry at all?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what we call a tease, everyone, so that you hang around and enjoy this video.
But before we get into this
There we
video,
go.
Yeah, Robin, your bit here.
That's fine. Take it.
We just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has stuck with us all season. I know this hasn't been the most exciting season out there, but it's been exciting for us because we really love this show and we're really glad that it's back. And it's been really cool to watch our channel grow and everything. We're almost at 42,000 subscribers. I can't even believe that we're at this point. And we just wanted to say thanks to everyone who has subscribed to us to almost, to get us to this number. It's been really great.
Yeah, it's so gratifying, and it's just,
We're so close.
I know, and
to
it's
42.
It's so fun because I love the community that we've built here, and we love coming on and chatting with everybody, and I'm sure we will have a lot still to talk about over these next several days.
For sure. And thank you also to everyone who has gone over to our little Instagram.
Yeah.
And I call it little because it is little, but it's where if you do want to keep up with us a little bit more on a little more like our personal stuff, we've got more personal stuff over there. It's Matt and Jess TV, and we've got a bunch of I've been reading Dracula. I just picked that up. It's Halloween over here. We got some Halloween stuff up there. We watched Nick Cage movies this weekend, so we might have some stuff on that over there.
Oh boy.
Matt made some grits, and they were so good, so we have a little bit of that. But yes, thank you very much, everybody. Also, it's Bachelorette tonight, guys, so we're going to be covering that.
This is going to be a fun night. There's very few things I enjoy more than just laughing at the ridiculousness of the Bachelorette experience.
So messy.
I've seen some previews for this episode already. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the state of the game at the moment is, on paper, it feels pretty clear, right? It feels clear that Christmas is going to go. Cody won the veto. He's the deciding vote. He has to pick between Christmas and Nicole.
Yeah, and he's obviously going to pick Nicole. I mean, Christmas has tried to pitch him a final 2 and has said, I don't want to sit next to you at the end, but my word is my bond. And if I tell you I'm going to take you to final 2, which is what I'm telling you right now, I am going to take you to final 2. And I believe her. I mean, that is how she plays this game. She won't go back on that.
Yeah, I think as far as Christmas pitches go, this isn't terrible because Cody's not dumb. Cody knows that Christmas doesn't want to go to the final 2 with him, but
No.
I think if you've watched Christmas over time, she often to her own detriment is extremely loyal and supportive of the people she is working with. So if Christmas says that she's going to take Cody to final 2, there's a good chance of that, though I still feel like if Christmas somehow, I don't know how this would happen, wins the final 3 HOH and she's sitting there having to decide between Enzo and Cody, I think that part of her that is all team loyalty and my word is my bond may start to crumble a little bit when staring at $500,000.
Yeah, and I mean, Cody did tell the camera last night that he's a little bit worried about Nicole cutting him at the end, and if I was Cody, I'd be a little bit worried about it too. She did cut Ian, who is someone who is her friend, to get to the end and to get the money. And I also think that she would cut Cody if she needed to. So should Cody really be kind of weighing this out? I actually think he should, because I mean, I don't know if he watched Christmas's season or not, but she is loyal and she will do this even if she knows she's not going to win, just to get that second spot.
The thing that I think Cody needs to really seriously think about here, and we've stressed this before, is he just needs to win the final HOH. If he wins the final HOH, he wins by default. It doesn't matter who he's up against or anything else. And from what we have seen on the feeds, Nicole is studying relentlessly, she is going to be very, very difficult in that part 3. She might actually be difficult in the part 1 if it is endurance and if it's something that doesn't really benefit a guy of Cody's, body type. Typically smaller people tend to do well in those. So you are, I think, running a little bit more of a risk that Nicole beats you in Final 3 than either Enzo or Christmas. That's the big argument that he needs to concentrate on here.
I agree. And I know that he has said he doesn't want to sit next to Christmas in the Final 2. He's not going to take her to the Final 2. That's fine. As long as she's going to take you to the Final 2, that's all that really matters. And Nicole is in a really good spot to win that final HOH. So, guys, you need to be thinking about this.
If I was Cody, and I don't know if this is controversial or not, if I was Cody, I would cut Nicole. Like, I just feel like she's too much of a risk because she is sneaky and because she obviously, no matter what she says, she wants to win Big Brother. And yes, I understand that she said, and we talked about this yesterday, for some inexplicable reason, had she won veto, she would have cut Christmas over Cody.
Who knows if that's true?
Yeah, she's talking to us, and I still don't know whether or not I believe her.
No, she's not a great narrator of her own game. Sometimes she's just not completely honest, and it's still part of the game, just in case someone's listening, or it's easy to say that because you didn't win the veto, so you don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, Nicole's an influencer. She knows her brand. She knows what's going to be a good story for people out there. And I think the story of Nicole winning that Final 3 and not being like, I don't know anymore about her game, and suddenly being like, I know what's best for my game. I'm getting rid of you, Cody. Goodbye. Like, that is a story.
Yeah, and Nicole has campaigned to Cody, even though they are working together.
Yeah.
And she did make it clear to him that if she wins, she is going to take him to the Final 2. That doesn't mean that she actually will. And personally, I think she won't. I think she's going to cut him.
I think there is a good chance of it. And I think just ultimately, the fact that there is a good chance of it, regardless of whether or not she does it, it should be enough of something to make Cody have some pause. But, what I was at least happy enough about with Cody's sort of monologue last night, and this is something that one of the big questions we've been wondering is, would Cody take Enzo to the Final 2 or Nicole out of that configuration? And he feels very, very confident that Enzo would take him, and we'll get more into that part of things in just a couple of minutes here, but he also sort of talked a lot about how he doesn't buy a lot of this nonsense that Nicole is trying to sell him with this whole, I don't think I can win, I will lose against you, and he was just like, you probably have Ian's vote, you probably have Davon's vote, and we don't know whether or not this is true, but if Cody believes it, he didn't go into that monologue about any votes that Enzo has for sure, so that must be that he may not think that Enzo has any votes for sure.
Yeah, really for Cody, if he wins that Final H, it's all about, does he want to, smoke somebody at the end, or does he want to go where somebody might have a couple more votes? Because he's going to beat Nicole. He's going to beat everybody. It just is, it is how it is, guys.
Yeah, I think it would be probably 7-2 or 6-3 if it was Nicole versus Cody, because I think she might get a few votes in there based on, people don't like Cody, or, they respect the winner getting there, whatever other sort of stuff it is. But I think Cody versus Enzo, that feels like it is 8-1 or 9-0 at this point based on what we have seen from the jury house.
Yeah, the only thing that's starting to, maybe it could sway people in the jury house. And I'm hoping it swayed some of you guys watching, because I know everybody thinks that, oh, Enzo's just doing whatever Cody wants. He's just riding his coattails. I have not believed that all season. I have seen the back and forth between these two. They are sharing information. It is not only one to me, but watching Enzo win that HOH last night, not caring what Cody thinks. Definitely not caring what Nicole thinks. That was so weird. Nicole's all like, we're not being team player, not being team player. This is not a team sport. And he was never on your team. You two were never working together. Why would he ever be doing anything for you, Nicole? It was so weird. But him deciding, oh, I see that Cody's going to go and do this over here with Christmas. I need to secure my Final 3. He did need to secure his Final 3. He needed another win on his resume. He needed this. And also to just show that he is not someone who's just led by Cody. Cody wants him to go after Christmas. No, I'm going to go over here on this side where I'm going to ensure that I'm in the final 3 because I need to ensure that I'm in the final 3 right now.
I love that whole segment for Enzo. And I mean, we're not spending too much time talking about Monday's episode, mostly because as funny as it was seeing Cody give Christmas her moment to do her ridiculous dance, that was probably one of the other best moments of the episode. It doesn't really matter, but Enzo having that opportunity to actually hear from his own lips that he is actively playing, and it's so smart in retrospect that he fought so hard to win that HOH.
Yes.
Because what if Cody did win this HOH competition, and that prompted him to not do or try as hard in the veto for whatever reason? We know Nicole did very well in that veto. If Nicole had won that and it was Enzo versus Christmas,
he'd be gone.
Yeah, that would be it. It would be a wrap for Enzo. So good on you, Enzo, for thinking ahead. Who cares if they're mad at you? You have a family to think about outside of the game. Nicole and Cody, they are not your family.
Yeah, and it was also really smart strategically the way that he was talking about it to Cody. And I get Cody's all pissed off because we should have both gone after Christmas and cornered her. Okay, but Enzo's also right. If both of you tried to corner her and you both got stuck and Christmas won, that wouldn't have been very good for any of the 3 of you. One of you would be leaving. It is a mistake. I think that was the best strategy. Have Cody or Enzo, it doesn't matter, one of them go after Christmas so they deal with each other while someone else on your side wins the HOH.
Enzo played it perfectly because
beautifully.
You can't have a conversation with Cody before the HOH and be like, yo, this is what I'm going to do. That's it. It is what it is, man. I just got to get this. Because Cody's not going to accept that if you have that conversation with him at a time.
And we've heard Cody saying, I threw it to Enzo. You didn't actually throw it to Enzo. Now that we've seen it play out, he just decided, without talking to Enzo, that he was going to corner Christmas and try to get her out. That was your choice to do that. It wasn't your choice to throw it to Enzo. Enzo didn't have it thrown to him. He made another strategic move. Okay, these guys are doing this over here. Cool. I'm going to secure my safety way over here. Good for you, Enzo. Good for you.
See, we can actually, I feel like, justify our place on the Enzo train now more than because we were occasionally getting kind of close to clown car territory and thinking that Enzo was just going to ride Cody's coattails. But
no, I never believed that.
I was worried. I'm not going to admit. I had the pie right here waiting to just go right in my face.
I just didn't see it that he was riding his coattails. Cody has a lot of influence in this game, but Enzo has had a lot of influence on Cody, even to just the way Cody has been speaking and picking up Enzo's mannerisms and saying, the influence has gone back and forth. And now that Enzo is no, I'm going to win this HOH. I don't care what you think. We are at the finish line. This is not a team. I'm here for Enzo. This is what we want to see.
Exactly. And this brings us to the big question we introduced at the start, because we'll take you on a little bit of a story through a chain of events here.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Nicole having a brief campaign with Cody. That happened not that long ago, but pretty much as soon as that was over, we had a conversation between Enzo and Christmas where Enzo was just keep going, yo. This is a very important week for us. Continuing to assure her that she needs to continue campaigning. And Christmas brings up this idea of, I don't know what I can say about Nicole other than that, Nicole, she is a winner. If she gets to the end, she is going to clean up because they're going to respect the fact that a winner got to the end, which ironically is completely counterintuitive to everything you've been saying, which is probably closer to reality this season.
I just don't think the jury wants to give a 2-time winner title to anyone.
Yeah.
If they can avoid it. If it's Nicole and Christmas, they're probably going to give it to Nicole at that point. But if they have a choice of somebody else and they can make a good enough argument, Nicole is not getting that title.
And after Christmas left the room and Enzo was just left with us, he then immediately was like, yo, that ain't happening. Nicole is not steamrolling the jury. He was... he thought maybe she could end up getting a couple of votes or a few votes, but that that is where your guy Enzo, your winner pick Enzo, made it clear that he's not 100% on taking Cody to the end. He said that he likes Cody, that he would like to bring Cody to the end of the game, but taking out Cody may be that one move that really pads his resume and puts him over the top in front of the jury. And if he needs to do that, it sounds like he could very well do that. I'm not guaranteeing it. Like, let's not get too excited yet.
The fact that he's saying it by himself makes me feel like he is actually considering it. If he was saying it to someone, I don't know what to believe with him sometimes.
I know.
Because everything sounds like is genuine. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, I believe what you're saying. But, you shouldn't believe what he's saying. But the fact that he's just talking to us about it and he's sort of thinking it out and talking it out with us, it feels a little more genuine that he is thinking that that is the move that will secure him the win. And it is. He's not wrong. It's true. Will he be able to actually go through with it? After last night's episode, I feel yes.
Yeah.
He knew that Cody was going to be probably pissed off that he was playing his own game to ensure his own HOH win at the final 4 here to get to the final 3. And he didn't care. He did it anyways. So at that point, it made me feel a little more happy and thinking maybe Enzo will cut Cody at the end. Maybe. So him telling me that, I'm like, all right, here we are. I got on the right train.
He really needs to think a lot about this. I think it's good that he's already thinking about it, but then also think about the argument that he's going to make after the fact. Because if he takes Cody, if he wins the final HOH, he will not win. There's no guarantee for sure he will win if he does cut Cody, because you don't know how Cody is going to feel. You know that Danny has been close to Nicole here and there, and so there's still question marks. So what he needs to do is formulate a jury argument. You don't have a lot of time where you're like, yo, this was my strategy. I did all of this with Cody throughout the game. Hope that Cody accepts that and agrees with you while he's sitting out there with everyone else. It's not a guarantee, but this is the path for Enzo maybe winning the game.
Oh, for sure winning the game. I think whoever cuts Cody wins the game. If Nicole cuts Cody, she wins. If Enzo cuts Cody, he wins. Especially if, Nicole has won a little bit, but Enzo now has 2 HOHs. If he also wins 2 more HOHs and cuts Cody, he's won.
Yeah, especially when you think about those final HOH comps. Like, if the idea of Enzo winning something like an endurance, I don't know if he would win part 1. I think
I don't know.
He's more likely to win part 2. It sounds like Cody wants Enzo to win part 2, because then that way it kind of just blocks Nicole from competing in part 3. If he can win part 1. So he just needs to win a couple of these final HOH comps. Are you ready for it? We haven't done this in a while. Enzo. And see, we can unironically chant it again, everyone. It's okay. We can live in the delusion that Enzo will for sure cut Cody, and he might be big moving Enzo. Big move Enzoing us.
Listen, I'm not feeling delusional. I feel like Enzo can win this. Since preseason, I have felt that he can win this. He has a great social game.
Yeah.
He has had a great strategy all season long. He is now knows where he is. He secured his spot in the final 3. Despite what Cody wants, he has shown everybody, I am not riding his coattails. So all the people that thought that he was, you still might. But, there's a little more evidence now that he did not and is not. And now he is also talking about cutting him. I'm not delusional. He's winning the game. That's right, I said it.
Okay, see, I want to believe this. It's just Enzo has pulled the rug out from under me before with his proclamations. So
he's final 3.
His final 3. He's done a good job getting to the final 3. I still think Enzo. Cody, okay, this is the bad news. Cody is still the dominant player on this season. Cody has played the best game, but I think there's hope for Enzo now. I think there's, if you like Nicole, there is hope for Nicole as well. We have a final 3 of all people who I think in certain circumstances can win.
Yep.
That is a tiny bit of excitement at the end of what has at times been an unexciting season. We could talk about more here, but do you really want to hear about Nicole's pranks earlier this morning? Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, we want you guys to subscribe and stay with us. So, we'll cut that.
Has pranks on Big Brother ever been good since James ruined them? Like, that's the real question I'm wondering. But anyway, do you think that Enzo will cut Cody if he wins that final 3 HOH? Are you hardened by some of what he has said? Are you chanting Enzo in your mind? Let us know in the comments. And if you do like this video, subscribe to us, give us a like, support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.